Hey, everybody. This is Kim Dankey, the Shibboleth new member fast track instructor, and I'm so excited to be here with you tonight because we get to go over one of my most favorite tools on the Shibboleth website. So when I first started Shibboleth, I said, what food is approved? That's what I wanted to know. I would take the food from my pantry and bring it in here to my computer and type things in. And if it was approved, I would take a Sharpie marker and I would write down what category it was in and how I would use it. And then I took the food from my refrigerator and I did the same thing. This is one of my most favorite tools. If you are hanging out with me on Facebook, please take a second to say hello, maybe even hit that share button. Why do we want you to hit the share button? Shibboleth is a ministry. We want people to know that they can have the answers to weight loss and wellness. And thank you, Patty. Thank you for sharing, Patty. See, weight loss is a part of being healthy. Okay. And we want to look at all aspects of being healthy. Hey, Chris, glad you're here. If you are in the Zoom room, please take a second to set your chat to everyone and then say hello. Look next to your name in the chat. And if it says everyone, we're good to go. If it says hosts and panelists, please change it to everyone by clicking on that little drop down menu at the bottom and choose everyone. Hey, Angelia, glad you're here. And Deb and Lee from Louisiana, and Mandy and Sue. Hey, Sue, glad you're here. Hey, Angela. Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. Hey, Patty, glad you're here. And Emily and Angela. Hey, everybody. There's Teresa. We're so glad that you're here. I guess we is me, myself, and I. But yeah, all of my personalities are glad that you are here. I've had a great day today. I've just left a networking event at Copeland's, New Orleans. I'm not sure what they call it, a restaurant. And I had it marked as a possible holiday. Didn't even want the food. Didn't even want it. I think that's a great success right there. Hey, Jenny on Facebook, glad you're here. So I was like, I've marked it as a holiday, y'all. I just don't want any of it. Like success right there. Now, I mean, 2.5 years into Shibboleth when I don't want that kind of stuff, but I just didn't want it. So it's always a win when you don't want that. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen. If you are not a Shibboleth member, please know that you can get a membership at shibbolethdeals.com. Shibbolethdeals.com. It's currently $69 for a lifetime membership. Never have to pay again, and you'll have access to all of this. Why do we do this at that price? Because it's a ministry. Hey, Chastity, glad you're on here. We want everybody, no matter the size of their wallet, to be able to have access to this information. Hey, Diane, thank you for sharing. This information is 20 years worth of Travis Martin's research and dedication to helping people lose weight and live their healthiest, best life. Thank you, Patty. And yes, people could go around and piecemeal stuff on Google and figure this stuff out. How many years would that take you to do that? Why not just pay $69 and get it all at your fingertips at one time in a nice little system? Hey, Polly. So that's what this is. It's all at your fingertips, all at one magical time. So we're going to go over lap 3 tonight. Now, let me explain the way this works. For those of you who are brand new, we have a little system that we call Fast Track. It is, thank you for that, Diane. It is lap 1 through lap 7, sort of intended to be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through Saturday, sort of meant to be a week's time. But I didn't put a date on there, a day of the week, because what if somebody starts on a Wednesday and they're all excited and they want to get started? That's fine. You go to lap 1 and you get started. So anybody can start at any time. Now, this was done in an organized way for you to be able to just methodically work through lap 1 and lap 2. I know, Chastity, I just love what you just said. She says, it's such a good deal that it feels like cheating. The worth is $69 per month or more. It is so true. It is so true. But we've got people Sasha Martin, the CEO, and Travis Martin, the founder, we've got this couple that want to provide this information to everyone. So if you've got some friends that need to know about healthy eating, let them know about this Shibboleth ministry, okay? So if you get started, you just go ahead and work your way through, but it's in an organized way. I was talking to my friend Natalie tonight. She goes, I felt a little overwhelmed. I said, okay, I get it. But what I want you to do is I want you to go to lap 1. And I want you to do the first. She's got 2 young children. I said, I want you to do task 1. And then if you need to go do something with kids, that's fine. Just come back and then do task 2. You need to do something else? That's fine. Come back. But you've got a little checkbox system here so you'll know where you left off. And then you just methodically work through each and every one of these things. I do not go over lap 1 with you in a webinar. Y'all got to do that one on your own. Okay. Very important. It looks like a long list, but like 5 of these things on this list will take you like 10 seconds to do 5 of them. And then you've got printables that you have to read. You would expect to read papers when you start something. And that's what most of that in the middle is. Okay. So it's not hard to do, but I did tell my friend tonight, you put blinders on. Do not click on all the flashing and interesting buttons on the rest of the website. Don't click there. You literally stay in Fast Track all the way through lap 7. Don't click on anything else. Don't think that you can cheat the system and just skip all of that. Let's spend some time together to do it right. Let's do it right. Things that start off on the right foot go well. Things that you're trying to piecemeal together, and I can see, oh yeah, I can see when people ask questions on the Shibboleth silver level page who have not done Fast Track. And I'm like, that's in lap 2. That's in lap 3. Here's the link, but seriously, if you just go through the laps in a methodical, organized way, you'll be much happier about it. Okay. Lap 2, I don't go over this one with you either. Now there's a little tutorial video right here for you. Okay. So you can watch that. But I don't go over this with you because you can confirm your email on your own. You can find your ideal body weight on your own. You can do these things on your own. You're going to have to measure and complete your profile and take a before, front, and side picture, define your why. Those are all things that you got to think about and do on your own. They're very, very important to do because you want to set up your account in a way that it will give you all of the graphs and data that it needs. If you will give it graphs and data, if you will give it the data, it can crunch numbers and really create cool things for you. Hey, Joanne. But if you don't give it the info, then it can't. All right. And then if you miss any of the webinars, if you miss any of them, I just kind of house them right here for you. Yes, I love that. Chris and Patty are over there on Facebook saying, do it. It'll make so much sense. If you miss something, this is where I house the videos for the week. Okay. So literally you will not check this box off until you've gotten through lap 7. Okay. But this is just where I keep them. So if you miss anything, you come here and you can watch them. So if you did not see Sunday night and Monday night's video, that's where they are. Right here, watch the daily Fast Track webinars, Angela. It says, and I'm glad you're here, Angela. I've missed seeing your name on things. Watch the daily Fast Track webinars. There are 7. Or participate live nightly. That's what we prefer. But they're right here in lap 2. What I used, the website I used last night to teach the class is right here because a lot of people like to see that afterwards. And if you haven't taken the Fast Track quiz yet, I put it right here at the end of lap 2. Why do I put it at the end of lap 2? Because taking that quiz gives you full access to the food library, the recipe library, and the restaurant guide. Unless you've passed that quiz, you aren't going to see the full food library, recipe library, or restaurant guide. And tonight, we are going into that food library in lap 3. So I have you do it at the very last of lap 2 if you haven't already done it when you watched some little videos in lap 1. So I hope that kind of gives you a little tutorial on doing lap 1 and lap 2. Now you'll notice that there's a black box that pops up every time I hover over one of these tasks. If you're on a phone or a tablet, you lightly tap the information I and it will pop up. But that's like the instructions on completing that particular task. I never did like a teacher who didn't give good instructions on doing homework. So that is what we've got going on right there. All right, we're going to go into lap 3. I really like lap 3 because these are some of my favorite things. Love the food library, and I love our what we call the timing chart. Okay. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to start with the bottom 2 things right here on this list. And it says the third task here says create lists of your favorites in each categories on your fast track worksheet. So I put together a little worksheet here. And you started hearing me say this on Sunday night. So on Sunday night, you started hearing me say, create your lists of your favorite lean proteins, your favorite fibers, carbs, and so forth. And you may have scratched down a few things on Sunday night. You may have scratched down a few things on Monday night. But here is a concise place for you to list some of your favorites. If you do not have a printer, you can just use this as a template and create it on your own paper, okay? This does have a little bit of color to it, so if you don't want to waste color ink, just print it in black and white, okay? So this task, this action item in lap 3 is for you to write down 10 lean proteins, 10 fibrous carbs, 10 energy carbs, and so forth. So let's say that you get 6 protein plus fats entered and you just can't think of any more like off the top of your head. You need to go into category 4 in the food library and just start scanning and playing and go on that nutritional adventure and find some things that you had just never thought about eating before, okay, and list them out in here. Now, over the course of time, you're probably going to come up with more things, but I want you to list 10. I don't want you to stop at 6. I don't want you to stop at 7. I want you to list 10 because listing 10 leads you into the adventure of picking more, choosing more, and really going through the food library to find some things that you would be interested in trying. Now, if you end up not liking a food that you've written on here, no problem. You can print as many of these things as you need and want. Okay, so that is this task. Once you have filled in those 10 items, then in each category, you can go ahead and check this box, okay? Now, if you do not like shellfish, then you don't have to, and you don't ever eat it, you don't have to put anything in that, okay? So no worries on that one. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create meals on that worksheet. So here we are, we're looking at this worksheet, and you've got all this filled in. And it does make more sense for you to do it in that order. You know, you fill in these first, because then what you're going to do right here is you're going to build 7 meals. Then this first line here, you're going to pick a lean protein. Now that lean protein can come from category 1 or from category 7. And then you're going to pick a fibrous carb, category 2. So you just put 2 things together that you like to eat. Now, I have MCT listed there at the top to remind you that if you're cooking something like chicken breast and broccoli, if you'll cook that up in some MCT oil, it will make that particular meal one of the fastest fat-burning combinations. Because if you have things that you can cook that are 1s and 2s, and you cook that up in MCT, you've just made that be the fastest fat burning combination. But let's say that you write in here some Oikos 000 yogurt and you put some hemp flakes right there. Well, you're not going to put MCT oil in that, all right? So what you could use that little blank for at that point is maybe you want a little palmful of berries as a condiment. You could write that in there and put a C next to it, meaning you'll have a condiment amount of that. So if you're not using MCT oil to do whatever you've put in the place of these, if it's not something that you can cook, then you can put in a condiment or another idea if you want to, all right? But then what you do is you come over here to this bottom right-hand corner, and you're going to see where you can build meals that include energy carbs, ding, ding, ding. Remember, you need to have that alarm going off in your head that, I'm hankering for some lima beans. I'm hankering for some black-eyed peas. Oh yeah, ding, ding, ding. Those are energy carbs. I must eat those with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So I reverse engineer this. If I want to eat sweet potato, I write a sweet potato there. If I want to eat lima beans, I write lima beans there. If I want to eat those black-eyed peas, I write them there. Then I choose, what do I want my lean protein to be? And what do I want my fibrous carb to be? And you'll also notice that I do not have MCT oil listed there, because you wouldn't really do MCT oil with that meal because it's got energy carbs in it. And so just kind of come up with 3. Now, obviously on your own paper, you can write as many as you want to, but for the purpose of checking this box off as complete, that's what you do, okay? And then fruit, you can put some fruit down here and decide what you want to eat with that. This is building a category 4 and a category 2 meal. And this is building a category 6 superfood with a category 2 meal. Now, this is superfood and fibrous carb. This is protein and fat and a fibrous carb, okay? And yes, Patty, that sounds really good. I like it. She says chicken breast, turnip greens, and black-eyed peas. Now, in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see freebies, extras, snacks, and meal replacements. If you want to go ahead and do that, you can, but I am going to be doing this with you on Thursday night. But feel free to work ahead in the laps, y'all. You can work ahead in the laps. That's not a problem. But I want you to fill in those, because it's the research and the looking and the figuring that shows you, yeah, there is a lot to eat on this program. Yes, I can do this. So that's why it's a little assignment, okay? So then you just check that box once you have made those meals. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is our timing chart. So the timing chart is one of my favorite tools, isn't it, Patty? Sometimes I will reach out to people and go, hey, I see that you haven't completed your timing chart this week. When are you going to fill that in? So I might call you out. So right here, if you hover over this, you read the black box. Click on the weekly timing chart above. Let me arrange this so you can see that. That's where it is, right there, the weekly timing chart. Click on your weekly timing chart above to view your personal timing chart. The link in this task, is to a video on how to use your timing chart to your benefit. And I'll show you that. Your timing chart is going to be, Patty, you're making me laugh. Your timing chart is going to be an extremely valuable tool for you. It is a great visual as to whether or not you're doing your best. On your first and second perfect days, you're going to see a green check. On your third perfect day, you are going to see a flame, and now you are in EFB, baby, efficient fat burning, where your body is in a state where it will and can efficiently burn unwanted body fat. It's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to click here just to show you what you're going to see when you click there. And it's just a little video that I did at the store one day when I was inspired to talk about, actually, one of my friends had created me this tool and I used it to talk about it. So you'll see me talk about that right here. So it's just 4 minutes and 28 seconds and you can kind of watch that. All right. But where we're going right now is we're going right here to the weekly timing chart. Now, it's really a monthly calendar, but and these little things are individual weeks, and I talk about that in that little video. But it's what a good strategy is for a week's time. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my very first entry, because showing you the entries at the beginning of my journey makes more sense for your journey, because I'm in maintenance now and my calendar doesn't make sense all the time to a person that's in weight loss mode. So I start right here in the beginning. Okay, so I started on April 10th of 2019, and this was a perfect day, and I got my first green check. Now, if you want to know what determines whether or not you have a perfect day, that was in the Sunday night video that I talked about, and the little 14 fast track videos also goes over it too. This was my second perfect day. So during these 2 perfect days, my body is there's any insulin that might have been in my body from what I had eaten before dissipates. My body also uses up all of its sugar stores from your liver and your muscles. And so it's getting rid of all of that easily accessible sources of energy. And I am preparing my body for efficient fat burning. On the 3rd day, I am in EFB, baby, efficient fat burning. Okay. So then what you want to do is you want to string together as many efficient fat burning days as you can. And then, planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. This was Easter, and I go to Alabama for Easter, and I'm eating my stepmother's food. It is the best on the planet. So we've got a holiday there and a holiday there. And then I got back to business because guess what? I know what to do now. I didn't truly know what to do before. I knew pieces and I knew parts, but I didn't know the whole thing. So this right here was a perfect day. Well, you see a new little icon right here, okay? That icon is an intermittent fasting day. Because guess what I did while I was gone to Alabama for Easter? I watched the gold level daily doses, which is what you'll do after fast track and after silver. I watched the gold level daily doses and I learned about intermittent fasting. And I thought, wait a minute, I can do this because at its minimum, intermittent fasting is going 12 hours without eating, and that can include your nighttime sleeping time. Personally, I like to let a lot of food that I've eaten during the day digest pretty good before I go to bed because I sleep better when my body is not having to be in a heated up process doing work and digesting food. So that's an intermittent fasting icon, and that's a type of perfect day. And then here I am stringing as many efficient fat burning days together as I can. And you'll see I'm in EFB here, but that little icon is for a WOW challenge, WOW, wow. And we'll go over those little challenges on Friday night. Those are just wild and wacky one-day challenges that you can do. And I was just playing around in this lifestyle, having fun, trying things out. So I did 2 there. And then you can see that I was in EFB, so I was in efficient fat burning, but I also did an intermittent fasting day and then another one and so forth. Okay. Now this WOW challenge, if you do a WOW challenge and you do an intermittent fasting day, it's just going to give you the WOW challenge icon. It's not going to give you both. Okay. So just to let you know that. And the little gray boxes that are in each square, there's the symbol right here and the meaning here. If you get an E in there, it means that in your journal, you marked that you did an exercise challenge for the day. I don't have many E's. And then if you have a W, it means you entered your weight. P means that you added a progress photo or any photo. Sometimes I just put fun photos in there just to show me along the journey. M means that you updated your measurements. C means that you participated in a challenge. J means that you requested a journal review, which can be easily done in your journal. You can click submit for review, tell them which days you want them to look at, and then they can have a look. You can't be like 3 years in and say, look at all of it. No, you got to give them like a time frame that you want them to look at, and then they'll give you feedback, written feedback on that. And then 1 through 10 indicates your motivation level. How motivated are you to do this lifestyle? And just to give you a tip, you don't really have to be motivated to do it. You just have to do it. You don't have to be motivated to brush your teeth every day, but you do. You don't have to be motivated to put your deodorant on every day, but you do. So sometimes whether or not we are super motivated or not doesn't need to determine what we do. We do it because it should be what we do anyway. All right, so now we're going to move on to the next month. Now, what I learned to do very quickly is this is a management system. So I put some questions into place that I ask myself at the beginning of each month. First question is, am I going out of town? If I am going out of town, typically I want holidays. Now, I don't have to, but I like to plan for them just in case I choose to. And especially in weight loss mode, that's very important. If you're going on vacation and you want holidays, you better get some EFB days getting up to those vacation days. Then the next thing is there any birthdays, anniversaries, or actual holidays in the month? I want to account for those. And then the next question I ask myself, is there anything else on my calendar, maybe personal, maybe work related, that revolves around food that I might want to take advantage of? I mark all that on the calendar. I did find many times there was like 12 and 13 things I'd marked down. But at that point, that's when I have to start saying, which one of these are the easiest days to have perfect days? Which ones are not as important to me, and so forth. And I would bring them down to 6. Now, sometimes I would mark it and there's like, oh, there's only 4 things on here this month that seem sort of important. I would just kind of bank those other 2 and not mark them and say, I can just have those whenever. But if you mark your holidays down, it doesn't mean you have to have it on that day. You can play the switcheroo game and everything. You just want to have at least thought through it so that you don't miss out on some important things that are maybe like at the end of a month or something. Like this month, I asked myself these questions. And at the end of this month, we were going to a wedding out of town. I wanted holidays. So I got right back to business. And after that, and did, excuse me. So I had holidays, but what I did leading up to that was all EFB days. And then I got back and I did an intermittent fasting day. Technically, an intermittent fasting day should get you back into EFB faster, but I just want to tell you, in my mind, I see green check, EFB, because I just don't want to expect anything like weight loss and stuff to happen until like this day. And if you think, oh, I'm back in EFB, why haven't I lost anything? You could get discouraged. So I do, in my mind, green check, I'm back in EFB there. But I just do that for my own purposes. Okay. But the system gives me these icons based on the type of day I'm having. Okay. So I'm going to just move off of this, but I did have in June, a whole month of perfect days. July, a whole month of perfect days. Y'all, this lifestyle is not hard. Living regular Shibboleth is not a challenge. It is easy to do. And I did it. I lost 35.5 pounds. I got to 150. I continued to live the lifestyle, y'all. Look, in July, in August. In August, I started having holidays, a little here and a little there, because I got into maintenance mode. In maintenance mode, truly living this lifestyle and keeping these days, these perfect days, truly perfect days, I lost 15 more pounds in weight loss for a total weight loss of 50 pounds. And now I have been maintaining that 50-pound weight loss for 2 years. And you will see an icon on the chart every day for 2.5 years or more. So you can do this. And this is like a great visual as to whether or not you are doing the best job you can. Because your scale is not going to tell you what you want to see every single morning. It is not going to tell you what you want to see even every single week sometimes. You may go a week and you're like, I didn't even lose any weight. What happened? What's going on? That's when you say, let me have a look at my timing chart. Am I truly doing the best job that I can? And that little video that you watch will go over some of those little details. Because if you've got like this right here, if your timing chart shows this thing up here, perfect day, I'm going to go this way, perfect day, holiday, perfect day, holiday, perfect day. You've never gotten into EFB. So if you expected to lose weight that week and then you get mad because you don't, and then you go back and look at your timing chart, that's what this is called, the timing chart. You can look at that and go, oh, I never even got into EFB. Got to get into some EFB at least. All right. Okay. So this timing chart is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Angela, is there a journal you fill in online? Yes, right here where it says my journal. You just click right here and you just methodically work your way through the little check boxes and questions and answers, and you just fill it in right there. There's also an app. Y'all can get the app. It's called Shibboleth Food Journal, and it is free. It's free. Now, I want to tell you right now, though, let me give you this forewarning about the app. The app does not have everything from this website on it. That would cost us millions of dollars to do, and we don't have millions. So the app gives you the food library, the recipe library, the restaurant guide. It will show you a picture of your timing chart, and you can journal online too. But let me just say this. I prefer journaling on the website. Now, I do it from my mobile-friendly website on my phone, but because they ask you more questions. There's more details in that journal than what's on the app. I do too, Deb. I do too, because the journal on the website asks you lots and lots more questions. But yes, Angela, you just fill it in right here. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and go back to Fast Track real quick, and we're going to check that off. Just now you know what that timing chart is all about, and you go in daily and you fill that in. All right. Now we are going to get into the food library. The food library is brilliant. The food library, one of the best ways to begin to familiarize yourself with the food library is to do the following brainstorming activity. Now, if you have family members that are doing this with you, y'all should all sit down together and just throw out all these ideas together. Just brainstorm. So take a blank sheet of paper and write down in no particular order all the foods that you can think of, like, or eat on a regular basis. Just scratch them down there. Then what you do is you look those foods up in the food library, and once you find that item in the food library, whatever category it's in, you write that number, or if it's a meal replacement by chance, you write MR next to it. You just write that down. Once you've looked up all the items, then you take an organized sheet of paper, sort of like that worksheet that I went over earlier, and you can write down those things by list, order them by categories. Now, as you are exploring the food library, make sure that you heart each item that you think you might like to try. Whether or not you're like, ooh, that's my favorite, you heart the items you think you might like to try, because sometimes people can't find those items again. And if you'll heart it, it will move it into your personal library. See, the website is big, but we like to bring things down into your own personal library. And I'll show you where you can find that. It's found in two places. In your My Journal tab, you'll have a spot called My Favorites, but there will be a My Favorites tab inside the food library. Okay, Mandy, I know there are recipes to print off. Can you tell us some of your personal favorites that are super easy? What were your go-to items for breakfast, lunch, and dinner when you started? Okay, so Mandy, I specifically go over recipes tomorrow night. So we're going to spend time tomorrow night doing that. But one of my favorites when I first got started was the fat burning chicken enchiladas. Fat burning chicken enchiladas, so easy. And then the Travis spaghetti recipe. But Mandy, are you a Facebook user? And this is going to be for all of y'all that are, okay, if you're a Facebook user, I want you to join the Shibboleth new member fast track group. In the announcements in that group, I have what I ate for my first 20 days, Mandy. So if you will go, I just took a pic, I put it in a little spreadsheet and then put it in there as an image. So if you will find that marked at the top of the group in the announcements, you'll be able to see what I ate, what my favorites were. I ate chicken and broccoli, chicken and green beans, chicken and cauliflower. I did 96% lean ground beef, a lot of nachos, taco salads, all kinds of stuff. I mean, and then you're going to count about 20 Mighty Muffins on there though. I did about 20 Mighty Muffins. They are a meal replacement that is very filling. They taste good. They were easy and super simple for me to use to help me learn and figure out this lifestyle. So I hope that'll help you for sure, Mandy. And then make sure you come back tomorrow night too, because we're going to go through the recipes, and maybe some other people like Deb and other people that are over here in the Zoom room can throw some ideas in for Mandy while we're here. She can copy those. Let me just tell y'all, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but you can copy a chat. When you're looking at the chat button, I don't know if it has to be when you're on a computer or not. I'm not sure if it works on a phone, but when you look down there, there's these three little dots to the right-hand side at the bottom. And if you click that, it'll say save chat. And it'll only save though the stuff that's set to everyone. I think, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, everyone. So you got to do that, but that's how you can save a chat. So if some of y'all throw some cheeseburger pie ideas for Mandy in there and stuff, Mandy, you can save that chat or maybe screenshot some of the ideas that you see if you're on your phone. Okay. All right. So let's familiarize ourselves with the food library. I love this thing. Do you know one other reason I love this thing? I didn't have to do all the work. I always wanted to know what to buy when I was in the grocery stores. I always wanted to know, but I was never quite sure. because I didn't know all the info that Travis has figured out, and he knows, and he put it all in here. And this is my baby right here. I love the food library. Okay, so let's have a look at something. You see this right here, my favorites? If I clicked there, it would take me to my personal favorites, not the massive giant food library. That's why you heart things, so that it goes into your my favorites tab. If you want to add a new food, you can do that right there, but only once you've kind of started that conversation with Kim Shibboleth in the Shibboleth Fixed It group. It's easier for her to just quickly look at something and see if it can be approved. And if she says, yes, it can be approved, you'll go in and add it right here. And then she will add it to the food library. So let's say that you look up some things and you think, oh, they're not in here, but I thought this was good for me, because there's a lot of products out there like that. Take a picture of the front of the item and the back of the item, post it in a special group called Shibboleth Fixed It. Shibboleth Fixed It. If it can be approved, then she'll say yes, and you'll come and add it right here. Okay. If she says no, there's two things. One, it could still be holiday food if you want it. Two, you'll learn why. Learning why on certain things is so, so important. So I always love learning the lessons. Okay. And that's a great way to find out new foods. And when you add foods to the food library, it helps people. Also, it expands our food library. Oh, and there's Deb adding a lot of stuff for you, Mandy. Okay, so here's the search bar. So you remember that little list I asked you to come up with, like your brainstorm list? You're just going to type the stuff right in there, and then you're going to hit the search and you're going to find it. If you are on a phone, the way that you're seeing this page on the right-hand side is what it looks like on a phone. But if you're on a tablet or an iPad or a computer, you're going to also get this bit in the middle. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. You've got lean protein, fibers, carbs. These are all of your category, numbered categories. But condiments is technically a category. It's just not a numbered category. It's just kind of a little specialty category. Then everybody wants to know about creamer, especially, these coffee drinkers. I don't drink coffee, but when I start talking about Shibboleth to people, they're like, can I drink coffee? What about my creamer? So this is a big time topic. So we have it all linked for one spot. Then you've got your freebies, snacks, extras, meal replacements, and so forth. So I have physically gone through all of these things and read all of these things and looked at all of these things because I was curious. I mean, I'm on my adventure. I want to know all of these things. And then we've got phase 1 and phase 2 cereal. We're going to talk about that in just a second. We've got phase 2 frozen meals and phase 2 soups. There's Atkins products, pizza, flour and breading, milk, salad dressings, beverages, beer, wine, and liquor, spices and seasonings, cooking oils or healthy fats, gluten-free products. If you're gluten-free, there you go. Vitamins and supplements, other random things that end up in there because people ask about them and we find it important to let people know how to use things. Pre and post workout freebies, the restaurant food category, which also has its own listing somewhere else, and coach mode meals. Okay. I'm going to click on coach mode meals first. Yes, I am, Angela. I'm in the approved food library. I'm in the food library. Yes. So I'm going to click on coach mode meals. The reason I'm clicking on coach mode meals is because this is a great place to find some really quick and easy, simple meals for you to get started with on Shibboleth. Now, coach mode meals are a little bit they're a little bit stricter and they are calorie controlled, but you didn't have to figure all that out. Travis did all of that already. Oh, Rhonda, I don't know why it was so slow on the notification. I'm glad you're here though. Thank you for joining. These are highly calorie controlled, but you didn't have to figure that out. They're great for fat burning, and it would be like a coach was suggesting that you eat these things. So that's why it's called coach mode meals. So what you would do is just scroll through, scan the items, and if you think it looks appealing, open it up and see what it says to do. Okay, so let's see. This one is very popular, berries, yogurt, and hemp flakes parfait. So you can click on there. You may have 1 cup of berries. If you're a fruit person and you've figured out, I don't get to have as much fruit in the beginning, there's lots of ways to figure out how to get fruit in. One of them is right here. 1 cup of berries, 2 tablespoons of Dannon Oikos 000 yogurt, and 3 tablespoons of hemp flakes. And that makes you a fun little parfait. And so you would just kind of go through there, and there's Deb's favorite, the Beverly Ump protein shake, and all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to read through those because that's for you to do, to kind of go through there and see what appeals to you as a meal. But it's called Coach Mode Meals, and it's at the bottom of the food library. All right. Yes, Deb. Deb says that I have a great video for a breakfast casserole too. And that breakfast casserole, Mandy, is called Best Breakfast Casserole. And when you click on that in the recipe library, you'll be able to see that video of me making that one morning. Okay, so, but from here, I want us to go into a category. I want y'all to tell me, which category do you want me to explore tonight for the first time? Yay, Deb, that's awesome. Who has a category that they want me to start with tonight? I'm gonna change it up. 6. Okay, Melissa says category 6. Awesome. So I'm going to click on superfoods. Superfoods are foods that have all 4 macronutrients in them. Now, we consider water a macronutrient on planet Shibboleth. It's actually your most important macronutrient, and it's a 0-calorie macronutrient. The next macronutrients in order of importance are protein, fat, and carbs. So a superfood has all 4 of those things in there. Okay, so I've clicked on superfood. I am now in the food library superfood category. So we're going to start looking at this from these filters. See these little blue filters up top? Those are filters where you can say, you know, I want only gluten-free. So you could click gluten-free and it would remove all the things that have gluten in it. Maybe you say, ooh, I need peanut-free things. You could click peanut-free and it would remove everything that's got peanut in there. And yes, you can use multiple filters at one time. Okay, so you can click all of those. Now, right below those filters, you see the weight loss meter. The weight loss meter is what I call a secondary way for us to categorize foods. See, these numbered foods categories and the meal replacement category and that type of thing, they are categories based on their nutritional profile and how they respond in your body. But even within those categories, there's good, better, and best within the categories. And the weight loss meter helps you figure out what's good, better, and best. So when you go right here to the center, 0, not going to help you, not going to hurt you. Negative numbers are better for weight loss. The more negative, the better it is, but don't get hyper focused on only being in 3s. Okay, you want to enjoy yourself. But the negative numbers are better for weight loss, and positive numbers are best for maintenance, but they will not take you out of EFB if you have it on a perfect day, okay? It's just that if you were doing positive number foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week, you're not going to see the results that you want. But if you have it one day on a perfect day, it's not going to throw you out of EFB, okay? It'll be fine. But if you did them all the time, you wouldn't see the results that you want. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of scan some of these things real quick. We've got this Abby's Better Nut Butter, AHS cereal. AHS cereal, AHS stands for Advanced Health System. This is a product that is specifically made for weight loss, and we do sell it in our store. Why do we have a store? We have a store because over 20 years of doing this, Travis has found foods that are great for weight loss, but this aren't easily found out at regular grocery stores. So our store is more like a little specialty store. And we put it all together in one place for convenience purposes. So that's why we have that. Avocado is there, all nuts and seeds, almond butter, almonds, all kinds of stuff is just listed through there. And you can see I have hearted them. Black beans, I like black beans. And you would just kind of scroll down. Ooh, boar's head hummus, that sounds good. Y'all can see I'm hearting new things while I'm reading this list. So you can just kind of come down and just scroll down and go ahead and mark the things you know you like, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's just say I only want to look at -1 to -3 items. Only the things that are just best for weight loss. Now it's regenerating my list, and I don't be a happy clicker, because if you're a happy clicker, you're going to end up in places you're like, how did I get there? Okay, so Mandy, we only have one store that's a physical location in all the whole wide world. There's one store, and it is about 3 miles from me here in Kennesaw, Georgia. But we have an online store, and you would find that right up here. See that blue? Oh my goodness, Mandy. Awesome. You are in Ackworth. Okay. So, you know, old Highway 41 that comes out of Ackworth and you go south towards Kennesaw. When you pass Swift Cantrell Park on the left at that light, there used to be an old CVS pharmacy right there. We are inside right there at that store. It's Desktop Co-working in Kennesaw Coffee Company on the signs outside. You will see our name on the glass, but it's inside there. So we lease a little room from them in there. So our store is in there. So I hope that you and Emily come to see us. I have class on Monday nights at 6 and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. We're open Monday through Friday from 11 to 6 and on Saturdays 10 to 2. So we'd love for y'all to come by. It's across from Kennesaw Elementary School. Awesome. Awesome. You will see Shibby Shop Sherry Monday through Friday and me and Kristen on Saturday. And we'd love to meet y'all. Okay, so I've just made the list smaller. I'm all about making these lists smaller so you have less to look at and make a more focused list. You can always expand your list if you want to see more items, but there's no reason in having all the things listed there. So then you just kind of come down here and you look. It's like, okay, there's cannellini beans, chia seeds, all kinds of random things. But let's look at black beans. Okay, we're going to click black beans. And usually you'll see a picture. I haven't rated black beans before, but we've got a little rating system right there. I do like black beans. I'm going to give them a 5. They are a -1 on the weight loss meter. And you can see I have that hearted. 44 other people have hearted that. They've just taken the time to go back in there. I bet a lot more than 44 people like black beans. It just means 44 people have taken the time to go in there and mark it. So in all the foods, you are going to see the category listing right there. So this is a category 6 superfood, and this is also a gluten-free product. Over here on the right-hand side, it says approved portion. So up to 1.5 cups if you are having that as your protein source. But if you are having it as a category, as a side item, 1/4 cup is what you would do, 1/4 cup, like if you're doing that in a combined meal. But by themselves, 1.5 cups would be fine. And you can come down here, and if there were any description, it would be listed here. But look at this, and Mandy, this is going to be really cool for you. Look, there's some recipes listed right there. So every time you look something up in the food library, if it has any linked recipes to it, it's going to be listed right down there below. Now, black beans can just be bought at every grocery store, so people haven't come in here and entered the information here. But see where it says where to buy? That is member entered data. Shibboleth doesn't do that. But let's say that I wanted to add that I can buy that at let's look for, I want to add it. I know the Ingles. Let's just say I can find that at Ingles. And you'll almost scroll down and see, look, now Ingles is added right there. But if somebody came along and they're like, I didn't find black beans at Ingles, they can click this negative button. And that just kind of shows you how many people confirm they found that at that store and how many say, no, I didn't find that at that store. So it's member entered data. And it's kind of fun to look down there and see that. Okay, let's see. Stephanie, what is the difference between a solid red heart and a heart outline? The solid red heart means that I have marked that as something that I like, and it moves it right here into my favorites. So anything that has a solid red, you have marked that as a favorite or as something that you're curious about and you'd like to try, and you want to make sure that you can easily access it in the future. So if it's a solid red heart, it goes right here into your my favorites. So if I click right here on my favorites, it's going to generate a list, and see how it's a little slow in generating the list. One, that might be determined by my speed of my own internet, but it's also pulling up a lot of data. So don't be a happy clicker. Go ahead and if you know you click the button, remove your hand from the mouse. Let the computer or the phone do its work, okay? And then let it generate. So I hope that helps, Stephanie. Okay, and so this is all the foods that I like, that I've marked that I'm interested in eating. And so that's a nice little thing right there. Okay, so let's go back to the food library. And y'all, I want y'all to tell me some three foods that I can look up. First three that I see, whether it's on Facebook or Zoom, I'm gonna take the first three that I see. You're welcome, Stephanie. And you'll see some more hearts in a second when I look up these, and I'll try to point that out too. Because the heart is in the item listed, and it's, I mean, in the full description, and it's in the little line item listing. Tofu. Okay. So I'm gonna look up tofu, T-O-F-U. I've never looked up tofu before. So thank you, Angela. That's gonna give us something new to learn about. That's wonderful. Are you vegetarian? Okay, so I've looked up tofu. It returned with 26 results. Okay, so Angela, right here, do you see that button that says vegan and that button that says vegetarian? When you, because you're gonna need some lean proteins and possibly some protein plus fats. When you go into those categories, if you will just use these two filters or a vegetarian filter, it will filter out everything that is not vegetarian. And that's how you make your list for you. Then you go in and heart those. So make sure you use that filter, Angela. All right, so we looked up tofu. And when I look up tofu, what it does is it gives me you're welcome. It gives me everything that has tofu in it. So like right here, see that says tofurkey. Well, it's picking up the T-O-F-U. Thank goodness. That way it can pull up more items for Angela or somebody that looks up tofu. Okay, so we've got, I'm just kind of looking through, I'm scanning this. This blue box is the weight loss meter. So if I went and filtered these out and I only wanted to see the negative numbers, I would lose these first two. They wouldn't be in that list. And then Stephanie, do you see how these are the outlined heart? That just means I haven't clicked it as a favorite. And then this number is how many people have marked it that they like it. And then if you want to add it to a grocery list, you can do that and add it to a grocery list. Now we go over grocery lists tomorrow night. So come back for that tomorrow night. But let's click on tofu. It's a -1 on the weight loss meter, and it's a lean protein. So there is an excellent lean protein for Angela. She's going to need to write that on her little worksheet. Okay, fill that in. You could do 2 to 8 ounces of that, and then you come down here, look at this description. So you read that description, and you can learn even more about tofu. Come down here, and if there's any linked recipes, they would be listed as well. And that was just on tofu itself, but if we went back to one of those other items, if they have a linked recipe, they can be there. Excuse me. So there's tofu. Okay, I've only gotten one response. Tofu. I know that y'all got to have some. I got 16 people on here with me. I know that y'all have something that you want to know about, right? Something. Okay, pizza. And Rhonda over on Facebook says the slow cooker buffalo chicken dip was so good. Awesome. And then Tracy says sour cream. Okay, so I'm going to look up pizza and sour cream. Okay, we'll look up those things. So now I'm going to do something special about pizza, because if I scroll all the way down here, pizza is such a popular thing. It's got its own category. I'm just going to click pizza right there. That solves that problem. But I want to see which pizzas are best for weight loss. So once this generates the list, oh, okay. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm going to go over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do pizza, sour cream, and then I'm going to talk about those cereals and pasta, and then we will be wrapping up tonight. Okay, so here's pizza. Look at that list. That's a pretty nice size list of pizza. And what I would do is I would scroll down for the, if it doesn't have a number, Rhonda, it might mean that it was just a product that was in there before we were given numbers, and we need to kind of go back in there and Are you talking about the weight loss meter? It might mean that we just need to go back in and fix that. If you want to specifically ask about a product, you could ask Kim Shibboleth to add it in the Shibboleth Fixed It group. You can say, hey, this product doesn't have a weight loss meter. Can you add that? And she would do that. Okay, so I would just kind of scroll down here and look, there's something I recognize. I recognize DiGiorno. I recognize California Pizza Kitchen. I recognize Amy's Pizza. So that's kind of what I would do. You're welcome. I would do that, Mandy, just kind of scroll down. But just out of curiosity, I'm going to lower that number. Now, I know we're dealing with pizza, and I'm going to leave the 0 out. I'm going to ask the computer to generate all the negative numbers for me. So there you go. There's your negative number pizza. But you know, that's not a giant list. So that's when I start expanding. Okay, I'm gonna add the zeros in. So there's all the big pizzas that like you can buy at the store. But if you just go to the restaurant guide and type and look for Domino's, you can look Domino's, you can put in Papa John's, and you can see how it would read that. A lot of times, if you're having like regular pizza, the suggestion is to scrape the toppings off of the pizza and put it on like a salad and then eat that. I actually really like that. But if you order the Philly cheesesteak thin crust pizza from Domino's, you can have 2 of those slices with a little side salad or a category 2 next to it. Okay, so right here, I expanded my list to a 0 to a -3, and I get the Amy's pizzas, which I love the spinach one from there. I get some DiGiorno pizzas. I really like this thin and crispy frozen pizza. There's that Domino's pizza that I was talking about, and so forth. So that's what you do. You just kind of scroll down and play and look at all of that stuff. All right, let's look up sour cream. So it's going to pull, it pulled up 7 results. It pulled up everything with the words sour cream in the list. So we got approved fat-free sour cream is what you would want to use. And then there's Great Value fat-free, Kroger fat-free, Laura Lynn fat-free, and then other things that just, there's tofuti milk free, better than sour cream. Hey, there's your sour cream right there, Angela. I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna click here because it will tell me it's a gluten-free product. Yep, and this is a vegan product right here. It says it right there. So that would be good for Angela. But let's go back to just regular old sour cream. It's a 0 on the weight loss meter, not going to help you, not going to hurt you. So it can be used as a condiment, but I'm seeing something. Hold on. I'm going to go to Kroger fat-free sour cream. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of cream cheese. Anyway, so these are condiments. So listed right here, it is a condiment. You can use up to 50 calories of sour cream as a condiment. All right, so you can do that. And then if there's any linked recipes, it's down below. You can check those out. And if people have said where they have found that, you can do that. Okay, so as we wrap up tonight, I want to talk about pasta. So let's look at pasta, P-A-S-T-A. I'm gonna let it generate that list. What's happening with my hair? My internet's slow. It's coming. I wasn't a happy clicker though, because that would have even slowed us down more. Okay, so it returns with 83 results. If I want to know what's gluten-free, I now click the gluten-free filter. And I clicked it, and I know I clicked it, so I'm holding my hand back from doing. See, now the green button is highlighted saying that is picked. So some of my favorite gluten-free pastas are the Explore Cuisine products. There is some black bean pasta, which is good, and the edamame pasta, which is good too. I thought I would like the black bean pasta a little bit more than the edamame, but I mean more than the edamame, but I actually like the edamame pasta just a little bit more than the black bean. So let me show you what this looks like. First of all, I get real excited about this because it is a category 3, excuse me, it's a -3 on the weight loss meter. Yay. And this stuff is so good. Now, do you see right here where this says category 1 and 2? When you see a product that is in more than one category, it means that that product has enough lean protein in it and enough fibrous carb in it to be both. So this is a category 1 and 2 together. And then it says see description for details. You can scroll down here and you can read the description for details. This is Travis's spaghetti, Mandy, the one I mentioned earlier. I really like this product a lot because the color is more similar to regular pasta. Now, I don't care what color my pasta is, but if I have kids in the house and they care, I want to have something that they won't be grossed out about if they're not like little ones and you hadn't started off at, these other types of pastas. But you start them off when they're young, they won't know the difference. But this right here, my husband loves this pasta. And so it's good. So that's a gluten-free pasta, and the black bean would be gluten-free as well, Stephanie. But I want to look up I'm going to just go look up pastas again because I want to show y'all 2 other pastas. Now, remember, this one's a -3 on the weight loss meter. This is a category 1 and 2. So this is an application question. If you want meat with your pasta, which categories could you pull from to have meat with that pasta? Anybody want to tell me? You can pull it from a 1 for sure. There's some others too. Tracy on Facebook said 4. Yep, you can pull it from 1, you can pull it from 4, and you can pull it from 7, which is your shellfish. Yes, Mandy. So with that pasta we were just looking at, you can have any meat from any of the approved categories that have meat in it, okay? But let's look at this pasta right here. This pasta, look at the categories 1, 2, and 3. This is an approved combination all on its own. So if you just wanted to eat that by itself, you could, up to 1.5 cups. But look at this, ding, ding, ding. This has got energy carb properties. Which meat or which category are you not going to pull meat from? Because it's got the energy carbs. You're not going to pull meat from what category for this one? Four. That's right, Mandy, because we do not eat, thank you, Patty, because we are not going to eat protein plus fat with energy carbs. And because this one has energy carbs in it, that says I'm not going to pull from a category 4. That's right, Patty Bass, not a 4. And then you come down here and you've got recipes. Look how many recipes are linked with that pasta right there. It is a -1 on the weight loss meter, which is really, really good. And it says vegetarian too. It doesn't say it's gluten-free, but it does say it's vegetarian. All right, so that would be great. But let's check out one more pasta. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit long tonight, but I'm having fun. Okay, this pasta is amazing. Yes, Tracy says she likes that pasta a lot. Fiber Gourmet pasta. Look what it looks like. It looks like regular pasta. It cooks like regular pasta. It tastes like regular pasta. And this is a category 2 fibrous carb. Okay, now it's a 0 on the weight loss meter, meaning, some of those more negative ones would be better. But if you're feeding a family and you want everybody to eat the same thing and you don't want any arguments or pickiness, then this is what you would use. Now, I wouldn't go eating this every single night of my life. I might eat it, once a week or something on that special night. But why is this one so awesome? Because it's mainly fiber. Do you know that fiber is 0 calorie? It is. So let's look right here. This one has 100 calories in it, where most other pastas have 210 calories. There's 50% less calories because this has 25 grams of fiber in it as compared to 2 grams of fiber on regular pastas. This is an amen pasta, I'm going to tell you that. It is awesome. And so you've got the penne, the linguine, the elbows, and the rotini. They make great cold pasta salads. This goes in lots and lots of other recipes too. Now, there's not many listed there because we just got this product this year. So I'm sure more people will come up with it, and we sell it at our store. And then let me go over phase 1 and phase 2 cereals. See, okay. So let me explain this. Do you see this, how it says phase 1? And then you've got 3 little ones that say phase 2. Please don't think that you ever need to kind of get in to phase 2. Okay. Phase 2 is just spending more time in the lifestyle, like when you're watching videos and stuff. But what phase 2 is when it comes to the food library or approved food, it does not mean that you went to a higher quality of food. Captain Crunch is in there. You didn't go higher quality. Now, it's yummy, but you didn't necessarily go higher quality, but it's approved. Okay. Now, you know, Life cereal is not approved, but Captain Crunch is. So we come right here. If you want to see what the best of the best foods are, that would be phase 1. And we don't list everything with phase 1. We only do those products that are like processed man-made foods that that are better than some of the others. We call it phase 1. So this is your phase 1 list. See, it's not that big, but this would be the best of the best for cereals. And you can see I have hearted this AHS cereal, Cinnamon Crisp cereal. So good. I love that cereal. It's delicious. For those of you who do not drink a regular milk, now those high protein, no fat milks that I told you about, they are lactose free too. But if you don't do cow's milk, then you can use any other approved milk with these cereals. Okay. So that's gonna, if you don't do that other milk, you're gonna need to have this cereal only. All right. But if you like to do that other high protein milk that we talked about, you can do phase 2 cereals. So if you're eating a phase 2 cereal, then you can do you can only do the fat-free Fairlife or the Kroger Carb Master, because it's the only way to keep the insulin release from a starchy cereal down and not have any fat in the milk to capture it. Okay, so there's the cereals you can have for phase 2. And then phase 2, I mean, you just have to kind of inherently know that when we go to frozen meals and we go to soups and stuff that are canned, you know, we didn't go higher quality in the food. We went more variety, but it will tell you which ones are approved. Okay. So I hope that you have enjoyed tonight and learned a whole bunch. Y'all get into that food library and play. Now, right now, Travis is doing a new life webinar. It is, and if you haven't registered for that yet, you go to the pink online webinars tab in your account and you can click register here and it'll say join webinar going now. And you can be over there to listen to him. But know that you need to focus on Fast Track first. Fast Track first. And if you don't want to be distracted by anything else right now, then don't even go over there, because you can watch this stuff later. Okay. Fast Track is your focus. My prayer for you as we go off here tonight is keep them safe day and night. Give them courage, strength, and might. And I hope I see you on the Shibby Show in the morning. Night, everybody. You're welcome, Lee.